What's going on? I want to thank everybody who's watching the channel, who's watching the Instagram, who's watching the YouTube, and now who's going to be watching the TikTok of this channel, The Winner Circle. I want to thank you guys for stopping in. This video is for the newbies, for the new people who are getting into this information, who have lofty and high expectations, but have not put in any work, or who have lofty and high expectations but don't understand how things work. All right, so we have to get into one aspect that people have to understand when they're trying to get into discharging property, discharging stuff, or settling accounts or settling obligations, etc. A lot of people get information, like they'll purchase information from you or do a consultation with you and expect to know every single thing that you know in one consultation in 1 hour. Well, the reason why I'm showing you that this on the screen in regards to a law student, if it takes a law student up to 3 years to learn law, and these people have been studying, meaning they probably put in way more hours than you, why would you expect to get remedy after like studying for a month or 2 months or 3 months? Okay. Some people have to understand that your lofty expectations don't meet your effort. So it won't work. The number one thing that I see with a lot of people who have issues processing information, or so-called getting a remedy, is once that person doesn't get a remedy or whatever, something happens, all of a sudden they hop from person to person trying to look for the remedy instead of trying to look for the understanding. Okay. If you don't understand anything, you're not going to have a high level of cognitive function when it comes to discharging or offsetting your obligation. Because I've studied this for years. Now, you have to remember, when I studied this, I had to get through all of the misinformation, all of the misinformation in the redemption manual, all of the misinformation people were telling you to do to go into court and do all these Form 56s and form all these trusts and all this other stuff. All of this is misinformation. Okay, a lot of it, most of it is. But some of it can be applied if you know how to do it correctly. But for you guys who are new to this, you your lofty expectations are going to let you down. You think that you're gonna know everything. You know, say you'll tell me, oh, I got a lawsuit, or I got something going on, or I got an eviction in a month or 2 months. How is somebody gonna train you up to a legal capacity in a month? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys have crazy expectations, really crazy. I've had stuff where people bought stuff and we done a consultation. They bought all my products. And I'm like, dude, you haven't even had enough time to study the stuff. You know, they want the product. They want to pay for the product because they really just want the templates and they just disregard everything else. Look, if it takes a law student 3 years to understand law, and lawyers, even when they come out of law school, they still don't know nothing. Still don't know nothing. Still green. I've went through almost 8 years of studying law with no teacher. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have a discourse. I didn't have a group. I had to do it myself. That doesn't mean I didn't take information on the internet, look at it, and research it. Okay. For you newbies or you noobs, you're going to have to learn how to be a student. Stop trying to get in this stuff and try to get remedy tomorrow. It's really not as bad as you think it is. Okay. And some of it is using common sense. Stop. Just because you're learning this information, don't stop paying your mortgage. Just because you're learning this information, don't stop paying your credit card. If you don't know what to do, if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. That's with anything in life. So if you know that it takes a law student 3 years to study this information, and people are giving you 8 years worth of information, 7 years worth of information, some people have been studying this for 20 years, 15 years, 10 years. They're giving you 10, 20 years worth of information and trying to consolidate it in videos or consolidate it in consultations. That is extremely hard because you have to capture all or encapsulate all of the nuances that could potentially happen. So I'm going to teach you how to become a better student instead of a better complainer or instead of a better person that's just hopping from so-called guru to guru. And that's really what people do. As soon as they, there's no loyalty in in this stuff. So what you have to understand is when you're watching a video or you're trying to learn information, make sure you have a notepad by you. Okay. You could have a notepad or you can use your iPhone. You can copy certain things that you want to, that you want to listen to again, or you want to do your own research or go into your own tangent and your own diatribe or whatever. Keep a notepad. When I used to study this stuff, I used to say, you know what? I'm going to set some actual time to listen to this stuff. And then I'm going to put a notebook and I'm going to look up all the statutes that somebody is bringing up on the or stuff, or I'm going to look it up, or I'm going to write it down. Keep a notepad, or if you're listening to it, keep something to where you can write down stuff. Okay, when you start writing down the stuff and you start searching, then you're going to increase your knowledge. So then, when you increase your knowledge, now all it takes is understanding. Okay, that will accelerate it. Another thing, make sure that you study the words in different contexts. Now, I've said this numerous times. Black's Law is not a specific authority in anything. Okay, Black's Law is just a dictionary. All right. Yes, it has pull because it is a legal dictionary, and they usually get the references from cases. But Black's Law does not affect state law and it does not affect federal law. All right. So you have to understand the general, you have to go back and study words from their origin to the current application. Because if you don't, you won't understand the bastardization and how the word has been manipulated. You will be shocked how many words that you think mean something in layman, but they mean something different legally. Be prepared for double talk and semantics for you noobs. For you newbies, you have to be prepared for double talk semantics. You also have to be prepared to send a letter and the bank do nothing. This is where most people's administrative processes fall apart. As soon as they send a letter to the bank, they'll come back and say the bank didn't do anything. They didn't do what I said. They didn't do what I was told. Blah, blah, blah. Blase skippity. Okay. The bank, the court, all of these people are liable to their actions. Okay. So this is where people forget when you're sending letters. This is why I tell people you need to get documents and research so you can make sure that your letters are more potent because you're stating facts instead of speculation. I've seen people say all of this stuff. They file motions and they're talking about 18.8 USC and all this, and it doesn't even apply to them because if you read Article 1, Section 10, you would understand 18.8 USC even more, but we're not getting there yet. But this is just a little for the newbies to kind of prepare you, when you're getting this information. Don't expect remedy overnight when you haven't put in the effort to get remedy overnight. You haven't studied for it. You haven't done anything for it. And you're just expecting this to drop in your lap. That's where a lot of people fall out with so-called gurus. They fall out with everybody. And then they start talking stuff about them. That's a scam and blah, blah, blah. And most of them don't even know what they're talking about. Stay out of these comment sections, man. Asking people for questions because most of these people don't know stuff. Okay. If you're going in the comment section, there may be people who actually know what they're talking about. All right. Go and scroll down, look what they're saying, and then do your own research on what they're saying. Okay. Stop contacting people who may not know what the hell they're talking about. Use your own discernment. The part of this movement, or a majority of this movement, let's say 98% of it, is basically being a fucking adult. And I'm sorry I'm cussing, but it's just being a damn adult. All right, be prepared to take initiative. If you're not willing to take initiative, keep paying your bills. Okay. If you're scared when somebody sends you a letter that you don't like, keep paying your bills. If you're because you're not ready yet. When you lose all fear of that, you're ready. So a lot of you guys who are newer at this, you're going to have to understand that it is going to take time. So it doesn't matter who you talk to, unless you start buying templates and processes from people. Now, when you start buying templates and processes with no understanding, it's going to get even more expensive because you're going to have to find somebody who's going to hold your hand to bring you up to speed with those templates and processes, which is going to be a waste of their time because they're reaching back instead of moving forward in their life. And that's why a lot of so-called gurus or some people that do consultation, that's why they charge for their time. Because if I'm doing study and then you're unstudied, you're basically taking me away from my studies. So, and none of that's, it's not bad. It's part of the game, part of everything. And this is a game. I don't care what people think it is. A lot of you guys take life too serious. Like you take mortgages too serious. You take car loans too serious. You take criminal convictions too serious. It's all pieces of paper. If you understand that it's all pieces of paper, it'll calm you down a little bit more. Okay, you have a right to fight everything to the tooth and nail. All right. But the key is that you're taking time. You're just like a student, arranging to be in a quiet area. Not busy. You don't got your kids running around all over the place and all that stuff. That makes it 10 times harder for you to take this information and process it. Okay, you have to always know what you're doing because a lot of times you guys send out letters and the letters contradict themselves. So then when the lender gets the letter, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" All right, this is one thing that I wanted to show people. So um, this video doesn't have much information, but for you newbies and people who need to know information, you got to understand that studying is going to be the only way that you are going to be a independent or efficient person with any of this information. Because if you fail to study, it's just like school, just like class, you're going to fail. Okay, a lot of people do that. They go from so-called guru to guru, and then they wonder why, like they don't know anything. They done spent all this money with these so-called gurus, but they never took time to invest in learning the information or learning from the products that the guru had. And the so-called guru may have actually gave you the remedy. Just like I said, when I used to do consultation when I first started this, most people were doing remedies. If they would have actually went to court or if they would have enforced their instruments, they would have actually got the remedy. So then they'll bail out and then they'll be like, "I just sent that. I'm not sending it again." I was like, "Okay, well then you just do what you feel." I won't work with difficult people. I won't work with people who try to play me. I won't work with none of them no more. You don't have to work with difficult. I don't have to work with difficult people. That's the plus about this. So with some of you new people or newer people, instead of having lofty expectations, it's very easy if you're current in your mortgage. That is the best time to learn this information because if you're current in your mortgage, now you know you can bring a suit against your lender. Now you know if you get a car loan, you could bring a suit against the bank. You see what I'm saying? Or do your administrative process before you go into default, so then you don't have to worry about them taking your car or taking your home. All right. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. We expanding out to TikTok. I didn't think I was going to do it. I was, a lot of the stuff I was kind of like, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing it. I don't know how long this gonna keep going and how we're gonna keep doing it. Um, but yeah, most of the time I've given most of you guys your remedy already. I've given you a remedy for free, and I've given you a remedy for in most of the videos. Most people just not paying attention to it, or you're not studying it hard enough. Those videos you have to watch them numerous amounts of times. I like when I was studying this, I was watching Gene Keaton videos and all these other videos, and those are 3 hour videos, and I used to watch them 2 to 3 times a day. So if you don't have that type of dedication, this is not for you. You have to you have to wait till you have that type of dedication, or you have to take what time you do have. And that's another thing. When you have a 9 to 5 job, it kind of takes from that too, because you have 8 hours. That's already chewed up out of your clock. Remember, you got 24 hours. You got a 24-hour shot clock, so you only got a certain amount of hours to allocate towards something. But yeah, so just make sure you're patient, you're studying, you're doing your due diligence, and taking personal responsibility. And once you take personal responsibility, you'll stop trying to blame gurus or stop trying to blame other people, because really it's you that put yourself in the situation. If you're about to be evicted, or foreclose. Now, people can say health and all this other, it's all excuses, really. If you've planned to fail, anything can happen. We know this. But you got to know how to bounce back when it does happen. And with that being said, I hope people got understanding. Also, you can use recording devices too when you're watching stuff to record stuff, that or record things that you got out of something. So then you can go and do your own study or you can replay it. Another thing, you can record videos and put them on your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever, or your Android or whatever. And while you're working out, you can just listen to it so it seeps in your subconscious. That'll accelerate your learning process. And with that being said, I wish everybody a good Cinco de Mayo, good weekend, and have a great day.